Rightio, so that is 16 donkeys down, 7 are in the spinifex, 9 are here. We had 3 females and 1 foal. So they've been effectively controlled. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, we are good there, fuel's on, pumping, mag is on, altitude set. Don't check. Clear prop.
And that took nothing at all to start. Alright, I'm just going to keep moving because it would be really nice to have that airflow underway. And we'll wait till some of the rumble goes out of it. So today, I'm not going to run the 360 that much. We just, want to be a quick zip here, there and everywhere. But this morning, well, last night, Jasmine noticed that there were a large group of donkeys out at eBay. Now, since eBay had the trough issue and it had overflowed quite a bit, the dipstick is down, so I'm going to go out and I'm going to click that dipstick up, but I'm also going to have a cheeky look at setting the yards to trap so that I can get those donkeys. Because even though there's plenty of feed, and we'll go into this, we don't want them eating up those reserves. So, eBay for dipstick and trap, pack horse for checking why I've got no power, North pack horse to get the yards camera working again. I've got all the gear with me to patch that up, and then we might see how we're going for time, slip up to Bullock and check why camera 2 is offline. It's not critical, but it is kind of annoying me that camera 2 is not playing the game. Alright, right Maggie off. Good. Left Maggie. Good. Okay, so let's look at spinning you guys around so you're not staring at my face. Hatches, harnesses and a willing sense of adventure are all engaged. Time to pop up. And there we go. Right. Well, time for a gentle fly out, and we'll see what we have out and around in the traps. Well, not in the traps really, nothing set to trap at the moment. So if there's anything interesting, I'll check in with you. Meanwhile, I'm just going to listen to a little bit of music, maybe an audio book, keep my eyes out, and enjoy the little bit of thermal distortion we're getting. Alright, microphone off.
Jack, you on channel?
I might land out on the big strip, the second strip that I made for Dad, and then walk in on them.
Yeah, and I guess try not to have the sound travel over to them as much as you can.
Yeah, well, it's a easterly, so if I just come straight in, I don't bother having a pre-scan. I'll just, I'll just come in, land on the western airstrip, and walk in.
Yep, sounds good. But yeah, and have you got a camera with you?
I have a camera, and I just flicked the recording off, but we've got audio of this piece.
Yeah, we can just put this audio over some random flying.
Yeah, so I will probably, if they're still sitting there, what I'm going to do is I'll touch down at, I was thinking of touching down at Packhorse, gearing up and then flying in, but I'll probably be able to just fly in, take my time and wander in.
Yeah, I don't know if the radio will still reach when you get closer out there, but they don't look like they're moving anywhere. They're just sitting down pretty much right opposite the solar panels in the shade.
Yeah, look, given the temperature today, it's not surprising.
Yeah, glad I checked.
No, thank you very much. Looks like, oh, bump. Yeah, I'll radio check as I go.
Roger, fly well.
Cheers, out. Alright everyone, slight change of plans. Jasmine just called me up on the radio. The donkeys are still at eBay. So I'm going to come in on a alternate airstrip that we have there because I've got the wind coming from the east. So I'm going to come in and sort of stealth in, try and not disturb them. It is very warm, so they're not likely to go anywhere. I'm geared up, and yeah, I'll get out, get my gear on, and then move in and see if we can't reduce their population by a few. It's a little bit of a pity because I was planning on taking some meat from these ones so that we could do some donkey jerky and maybe do a couple of curries or something different with the donkey. But that might not be on the cards today. So I'm going to make sure that I save up the battery on this thing and that one, and we'll get ourselves ready to go work on some donkeys.
Before we get full serious, we're going to make sure that we have a good drink because there's nothing worse than going down. And I've got my camel pack with me, but the water point here is very reliable, so I'll be able to top up. All right. Looks like we're only recording on the 360 camera. Got a couple hundred metres to go. It's going to try and be somewhat quiet. But we're coming in on a crosswind to them. Got half a chance. Those big donkey radar ears, they certainly get you. Donkeys at other side yards, yep. Cover to cover. Hey, buddy. Magazine. And that's what happens when you hit the right one. Orderly line, eh? Back it up, back it up. Yeah, sorry mate, you're gone. Well, there's one advantage to all of this. I don't need to set the yards. And I've knocked that dipstick up. I changed the float level as well, so it's going to fill up more, top my water bottle up. So that's tackled a little bit of my work for the day. Made it a lot less. So let's just go through the donkeys and do a tally up and work out what impact we've had. All right, so the yards here, they've got only half the arms in. I can toss the others in, but I don't have anyone I need to really train up more than that. The whole point of putting these all back in and setting the yards was to get those donkeys. And we've got them all, so yeah. They'd pretty much been the only ones coming in here. The other day I dropped the trough and gave it a little bit of a clean out. That might have drawn them in. Let's go have a look at these donkeys. All right, so for a bit of context, donkeys were introduced here to Australia in the 1860s and then let loose. West Australia has the largest population of feral donkeys in Australia, and they are concentrated in these areas, the arid and semi-arid zones. So it's pretty much up to pastoralists to look after them. I know up to the north, they whack thousands of donkeys a year. It is insane. Now the donkeys are pretty damn awful on the environment with their impact. The amount that they damage the land with their grazing, their ability to graze down, they can dig for water. I've seen them dig halfway their entire body length to get down to water. I have seen so many animals get killed by donkeys, it is ridiculous. They do that double barrel kick and you'll wipe out even a big bull with it. Now, in ideal seasonal conditions, the donkey population will double every 4 to 5 years. Now, let's have a look through and see what ones we have here. So it's one male, and yeah, we've whacked him just behind. Well, we could have a really good look. I don't know, YouTube might ban us for that. Yeah, no, that's the exit. All right, one male. Let's keep clicking through here. So a male donkey is called a jack. And so there's another jack. So we're at 2. Cruise through here. Number 3, we've got a Jenny. Now you can see here, we've got a bite mark or a hoof mark from them fighting each other. Females fighting for dominance. You've got little tears on her ears, and they are pretty big ears. And you'll note well actually it's probably from riding, and that'll be a hoof mark from when riding. You've got the cross on the back of these ones. So 2 males, 1 female, another male, 4, 5, 6, 6 males, 1 female so far. Number 7, so number 7 male. 8, 9. All right, so we've done that line there. All right, we'll do this section and the one out near the tree. So 10 male, 11, 12, female. All right, so that's 3 female. Another male. Little foal who was female. All right, out to the tree. Should be the last one. No, bull. Male, so 13. Rightio, so that is 16 donkeys down. 7 are in the spinifex, 9 are here. We had 3 females and 1 foal. So they've been effectively controlled. Yep, had a malfunction with that magazine. It's a little bit loose on its retention, but we got through it. I should have just left it out on that first stoppage. So the gear that I'm using, yep, I'm using a Wedgetail MPR 308. So that is a pump action 308. It's Australian made. We aren't allowed semi-automatics here in Western Australia, full stop, for anyone who is not a government shooter, so it has to be a government agency. So the Wedgetail MPR has been an absolute game changer for us with our feral control. It's reliable, accurate, durable. Yeah, I have no qualms. It's the one I go to for making sure that I am going to do the job. Yeah, then the other bits and pieces I've got, I'm wearing a sword CTR, which is a light rig, like chest rig. So I've got a triple shingle across the front here, and it's really good for storing my equipment because I've got my magazines, I've got a zip up pouch for anything else I want to put in there, but my in-reach is on here, microphone's on there, and I've got a knife tucked away there, but I'm just looking for how I'm going to put the bigger knife, which is a lot more durable than this little one, onto it. So yeah, that's been quite effective. It's been good. Means I don't need to set these yards. We're pretty much clear, and that's the job done. Yes, we do need to take out the feral donkeys. And so under this CTR, so under this chest rig, I've got a Plat Attack Cuts. So it's a cool under t-shirt. So it's got my normal arms, and then it's a sweat absorbent and cooling main body area, which in today's heat, bloody good. So as I'm heading back, a couple of things that I'm sort of thinking about on that is maybe I should retire that magazine or have a good look at it. And then brings me back to the idea on that Drones for Dromedaries program or campaign that I've got running. That's where we've got a GoFundMe, and I'm asking people to chip in a couple of bucks here and there so that we can get a drone that is well and truly capable out here to deal with the temperatures and the heat. One of the things I was paranoid about coming in onto those ones there was the temperature cutting out the cameras. So I had this one cut out back at the plane. Don't know what was going on with the 360, but it appears that I got it all. And yeah, the concern is if I'm doing this sort of thing, and it'd be awesome, one, for a perspective of, looking at how the group react to the shooting and everything else that's going on, and also just for observational purposes to sort of just do a bit of a post review on it. But beyond that, the drone could be very interesting for, say, if I had set these yards and we've got the camera intel because we've got our fixed wireless network that gives us surveillance on our water points, be able to set up where I did with the plane in a vehicle at night or early morning, early evening, that sort of thing. Log into our network, check the camera to see if the donkeys are there, if they are in the trap. Launch a drone that's thermally equipped, because trying to find them visually on a drone here would be a challenge and a half. But then sort of confirm that we had none who are on the outside. I found one of the things to do when controlling things like equine is that when you've got them in the trap yard, you do a patrol and you check all around. So you work close to a kilometre around the water point to make sure that there's no one who's hanging out just a little way away, so that you get full control of the group. And that's where the drone could really speed things up. But I think the big takeaways here are that we have our surveillance network that lets us watch and detect feral animals, and then it lets us take control of them in a very targeted manner, like that. Fly in, go to the point where there's a problem, and then I'm just going to fly out. And I see the drone as potentially supplementing that for a few things, as well as getting some pretty cool footage. Right, we're clear. Something that gets asked quite a bit on the channel is if this is a suppressor that I'm using. And it is most definitely not a suppressor. We aren't allowed suppressors here in Western Australia. They have said that there is no advantage to having suppressors here for workplace safety or for control of large groups of feral animals. They don't really have any idea. So this is a blast diverter, and so it is completely hollow, and it slips onto the end there. Protects that thread, but also gives us that muzzle brake action and ports all the blast forwards. So that is quite good for helicopter shooting with other people, and yeah, it just is much nicer on the shooter and also then your pilot. So yeah, this is the Wedgetail MPR. There's a pump action, so you have to cycle it every time you shoot. But it is a very, very good platform, reliable, and I like it. I like it so much so that I have purchased one of their 223 versions of this for other animals that we need to control. Right, before that overheats, I'm going to get my gear off, not for OnlyFans, get my gear off and yeah, fly out to the next little job.
Alright, we're just letting it run for a bit here. We've got both fuel tanks on. We've run her up so that we've got no vapor lock and we're getting our temperatures down on our fuel, because that would be awkward. And we're going to fly crosswind. Okay, that door is closed. We are set for a takeoff. Instruments are good. I'm good. Belts are good. Alright, so we are going to get some revs up. Wait till we get to our 40. Come on, proper up. Alright, now we've got that air happening. Slow it down a bit and get into our wind. Now something I'm going to do, we're going to do a rotation, we're going to do a scan just around the area and just see if we can get a shot of the donkey carnage from the air.
All right, thanks everyone for joining me today on a day of work and donkey destruction. And a massive thank you to everyone who's a member of the channel, and then especially massive thanks to everyone who has donated to the Drone for Dromedaries program or campaign, the GoFundMe. Maybe it could be Drones for Donkeys, who knows? But it is an ongoing effort out here to keep on top of feral animals, but we are doing a pretty decent job. So thanks everyone for your support and for joining us on this channel for everything else that we do here. It is not just shooting, and we are maintaining that there is context to it, because we are legally obliged to control feral animals and declared pests on this property. And yeah, we do that with the tools that we have access to, and we do advocate for a little bit of change so that we can actually have access to some better tools and accessories to perform this task that the state government just isn't doing. So thank you very much for your support and your understanding. So I will see you on the next video. Who knows what it's going to be.